Hello there guys, and welcome to Warlock, Master of the Arcane. We are getting ever closer to a victory here. It has been a little while since I made a video of this because I have been ill for a few weeks now, which is why there haven't been any videos out at all really. And for that reason I haven't actually played this game for a little while, so hopefully I can remember what I was doing. I remember just sending this group of green bats up here to just scout the area out. We found where his capital is, which is here on the coast, and I'm now starting to build some boats, so hopefully I can attack it from the sea as well as the land. So we're going to go straight ahead and end the turn. The one main thing that we do have to be careful of here is that there are still a lot of neutral cities, and even though the elven guy is our ally, he is still trying to take the neutral cities, which is fine because that's not a direct attack against myself. But if he does take those neutral cities, it's actually giving him more power, and that's something that we want to avoid. However, if he's going to be taking all of his forces off to deal with those, it makes it an awful lot easier for me to be able to jump in and nick one of his cities. So, what cities, if any, was I trying to take? Well, I was probably trying to take this one. I must have been doing something. I have some mages stood right next to it. And I think I was trying to take that one a little bit further down where my melee hero unit is stood next to, because that's the only reason he'd be stood there. So as you can see on the minimap, there's quite a lot of grey around. We do have these neutral creeps that have spawned everywhere, but that's not too much of a problem for us at the moment. Okay, so back to our turn. And as you can see, we have units that are in our way. So we are going to fire at those. Can't do an awful lot of damage to them, sadly. They don't have an awful lot of health, so we'll just continue to blow the crap out of them with our galleon. Also, remember, we were trying to get this settler boat down here because we want to be able to capture the gems that are here. Quest has failed, which we expected to happen because we didn't have time to build that temple. New spell has been researched, which was the Mateland Baron. Transfer capital. Possible useful spell, but I don't think we need that right now. Nullify removes all enhancements or enchantments. That could be useful. Haste could be useful. Let's go for haste, actually. Sounds like something that could be useful. I don't really know the tech tree well enough to be tactical in the stuff that I'm choosing here. I just basically pick stuff because I go, oh, it's either quick to research or it looks like it might be useful, but we'll see what happens there. So, going to do my best to take those units out, which I did in a single shot. Didn't have to worry about that at all. Still want to concentrate on attacking this place here. We've got to be careful because they do have a lot of units around, which is a potential problem, although he's attacking them as well, so that does help me out. I'm going to use my archers actually here to try and finish off at least one of those units, or do a significant amount of damage to them. We'll keep attacking this with my mage, with my healer. One thing I do have to be careful, and this has happened before because it happened at Plague Dell, is I do a lot of the damage because I've got, my shaman here is a very big hitter. I do a lot of the damage and then my ally runs in and nicks the damn thing from underneath me. Happened a couple of times now during the course of the game. Want to try and avoid that from happening, but who knows, we will see what happens. So this guy's going to keep attacking here. He's got quite a bit of health regen on him and he does quite a bit of damage, so I think he should be able to take that down without too much of an issue. Various units here that can't really do anything. Put these units back on guard. They just got woken up because of those neutrals that spawned down there. Not too sure what I was doing with these guys. Let's have a quick look. I think they may well have been coming down here to provide some support for him. So let's bring them down there anyway. I am going to have more guys up here, hopefully, to try and take the rest of these out. And obviously we still want to keep building boats. Let's keep trying to take out these units here. I do have to be careful because he has a tower up there which can do damage to me if I get too close, but I want to take as many of his boats and things out as possible. Obviously it is just the neutrals, so he's not going to attack too much. The neutrals are fairly passive, but it's certainly ideal for me to do as much damage to his units as possible. And I'm just going to keep using this unit to go around and scout out all the rest of the map. I might as well, it's got flying, so why not? So that's the end of our turn. A unit has no tasks, which is still that settler boat, so let's carry on moving that across. Should be safe to land. I don't think there's any nasties in between the settlers and their destination. So the Elves moving his units around. He's still firing at the neutrals, which is very good for us, because that's less stuff to attack us. Looks like he might be losing his tower there on the end of this turn, because it's quite low on health. Yeah, there we go. It's just been taken out. My mages take another hit from the city. Not the end of the world. That might hurt a bit more, though. My healer here does have a passive healing aura, so that is actually providing additional healing to my mages there. As I said before, mages are some of the best units in this game. They're so strong. Arguably overpowered, but... So we can see now they're on about half health. At the end of the turn, it should resolve the auto heal, and we'll see how much health they get back. Bear in mind, of course, I can cast spells, so I could actually just heal them that way if I wanted to. Looks like they're losing a few more units to the neutrals, to the beasts as well. Okay, there we go. Good stuff.
Someone has humbly requested your aid.
So, let's get these guys onto land. We have a quest, which is to build a city for 200 gold. Of course, we're going to accept that because we are, in fact, actually going to be building a city. It's why we've built settlers. We have some more mages, which is fantastic. We're going to move these guys up here to help deal with the inevitable war that's going to be for this guy's capital, I actually think. It might be worth actually keeping these guys up here. Yeah, it's going to take them a little while to get there, of course, but that's probably the best place to settle, to move. This guy's only really here because he was providing some sort of cover for the stuff that keeps spawning here, and some cover for the settlers, but we should be alright with that. You now might as well just start attacking. I don't think anything here can actually attack you because it's not close enough. Oh, he does have some minotaurs there. We could actually hit them with bombardment from here. Didn't quite take them out, but the other creeps might get him later on. So, as you can see, these guys have had a little bit of a heal. I am going to attack with them instead of using my auto heal from this guy. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I do actually have the ability to summon a... In fact, let's go for a lightning bolt and drop it on these guys. Oh, it didn't do as much damage as I hoped it would. Ah, resistance to elemental magic. I should have checked that first. Lesser heal, healing. Half a turn cast. Can't quite do that, sadly. Lesser heal. Cancel the spell. Lesser heal. There we go. So there we go. Give 4 health. They're almost back at full now. Which means we can continue to use this guy to attack here. Got a critical hit. I'd much prefer at the moment to actually use him to attack than to heal, because as you can see down here, he has a lot of buffs and upgrades. We could arguably give him even more. We could give him Blessing Hill of the Wind, which would give him extra regeneration. We could give him extra unit power. Costs us 100 gold, but could be useful. Let's... You know, we could have that. What could we give these guys? We could give these guys regeneration as well. Can't quite afford it now because I've just used up all my gold. But yeah, it's probably not worth upgrading non-heroic units because they still die too easily. No matter how many buffs and things you give them, they can still get one shot, so it's not really worth it. As you can see up here, he's got some more neutrals of his own to deal with, so I'm probably not going to get too involved with that over here. We have now managed to build another galleass. That is going to come up here because we will be using that to attack his capital. I want to get it past this place first before we declare war, so I don't have to take damage in trying to get past it later on. I think we've got another one in the build queue. Yes, we have, so we are actually building another one. Again, you guys can go back to sleep because you were just dealing with the stuff that was turning up, and you can carry on hitting this place. So he takes a couple of damage per turn, but he does have some healing, so he's actually regenerating 3 damage. So that's an enhancement. So it is costing me 2 mana per turn upkeep, but it regenerates him 3 health per turn, and he loses about 2 from attacking this place, so he should be okay. If things get any worse, we can, of course... it's these guys, isn't it? If things get any worse, we can, of course, give him a little more health back. So, let's use these guys. They're probably going to be the target of the attacks from this place more than anything else. So, let's give them some resistance to missiles, because that's what the main attack is likely to be. He's shuffling all his pieces around. Not sure that there's any particularly good reason for him doing that, but you never know. So, clerics, healing units. Not heroes, but sort of similar to the mages. I haven't actually got any of those. Still quite low on gold. I mean, we are making gold per turn, which is a good thing, but still quite low in general. Okay, stuff going on up here that the map isn't snapping to. Doesn't helping me out. Okay, there we go. There his Minotaur is. Is he going to attack? No, he's actually backing off. Strange. And that happened just under there, so we didn't quite see it. He's still popping out boats as well. Okay, so we've got a trader. Trader wants to give us a staff. We can't afford it anyway because we're short by 1 gold. So we're going to have to refuse it. I think we've got enough, to be honest. We've actually got enough artifacts and items that we can't really use at the moment anyway. We've got most of the stuff on this guy. So, not to worry too much about that for the time being. Unit gets a level up, which are these mages, which is absolutely fantastic. Let's just give them some resistances. We'll get them to carry on attacking this place. Of course, we've got to be careful. We don't want... What I should do is attack with him first, really, because he does the most damage. And if he does enough damage to take it out, and then I can get in there, that's really what I should be doing. Quick look at this guy. No point hitting them with life magic. Death magic and elemental magic they have a fair bit of resistance to. No real resistance to melee and missile. These guys here are very, very weak. I think what I will do, if I've still got it... Fist of Crom, which I can still use, which counts as melee damage. Critical hit, and we've just done a massive whack there. In fact, we might even be able to... No, can't pull it off twice in 1 turn, which is a bit of a shame. Units needing orders. Again, these guys have respawned here on this bit of land. Not too sure where they keep coming from. These guys are going to now wake up because something spawned near them. These guys I have no interest in because they're his problem, not mine, and I was just using them to scout out. This is the very top border of the map, by the way, so there's not an awful lot up here that we can have a look at. Still got a few units that need orders. And there's a bit more damage. Just as I suspected, of course, he went for these guys first with his attack. But that's fine if he wants to keep pot-shotting at those. He popped out another boat. Now, I've got to be careful here because I don't really want to get within range of that magic tower. So, I'm going to continue to fire at his minions down here. I don't think that boat's going to be an awful lot of problem to us, to be perfectly honest. Settlers have landed. Galleon working its way through over towards his other city. We have an offer. Well, there's only one person who can be making us offers, and that is him. So, what does he want? Well, what does he want to offer, and what does he want in return? It's never a selfless act. So, let's have a look. He wants to give me gold for mana. I am going to say yes for now. I'm short of gold. I have the mana to spare. I may be giving him a bit of an advantage here, but I'd sooner keep him on side for another turn or two while I get a couple more galleons built and have a better chance of dealing with him. So we can build something else here. We do have a Holy Ground now, which means we could actually build another temple. Might well be worth doing that. Does cost 10 gold per turn, though. That's the only problem with temples and things. So maybe we just need more money. We've got a gold mine here, which is giving us 12 gold per turn. So if we can build something that increases the gold we get... So, harbour gives us... Have we got a harbour here? It's built in one of the cities, but if we built a harbour here, it would give us an extra 50% gold. So we are going to build a harbour here. So then that 12 gold that we're producing should then turn into 18 gold. That's the way I work that out anyway. So we'll see what happens. Option of a new lord. Costs 150 gold, actually quite cheap, and we've got 9 turns to wait to hire him. He is a mage as well, so we may pick him up within the next few turns. Let's carry on attacking here. Now, I've got to be careful, because he seems to be sending his units down here, and I don't particularly like that he's doing that. Seems like he's trying to play the same game again. So, like I said before, attack with this guy first. He's the one most likely to do big damage to it. Haven't been able to do enough damage to take it. Maybe on the next turn, we will see. This guy, let's just start bombarding the neutrals. Well, not the neutrals, these are the nature. There's neutrals, which are grey, which are pretty much the same sort of units that players have, only they're controlled by the AI. And then there are creatures, which are basically like beasties and things. So, settlers will be there in a few turns. Got some more mages moving up. Doing okay for food. We are still in the positive, although don't have a huge amount. We want to move you up here. We're going to sort of blockade this area a little bit. So you can see he has got a few caravels in there. Or carvales, as they're called in this. They're not going to do an awful lot of damage to me, but you know, if there's enough of them, it certainly makes life difficult because there's less space for me to actually park up and deal with him, I suppose. These guys are getting bombarded again. Hardly a surprise.
A new spell has been researched, my lord.
Okay, so we've researched haste. We can now... What's this? Meta teleportation. Teleports a target unit to selected hex, even if that hex is on another plane. That's quite useful, isn't it? What do we got here? Summon Earth Elemental. Anything that summons stompy stuff can only be good. Let's have a look. What else have we got? We've got this other caravel here. So he's going to go around into the same place. Can't afford to build another one. We're now on minus gold because obviously it's unit maintenance cost, which is going to be a little bit problematic. Lots more units that we have to deal with, so actually quite glad that I took that deal now for the extra gold. Of course, one thing that is worth noting, if we just find a city that is making a decent amount of gold, because we do have some. Minotaurus isn't doing too bad. They're not really making a lot of gold. That's doing a fair amount of gold. And what we can do here, so what's that? That's Los Argulas. We do have some spells that actually increase production. I can't remember what all of them are. Let's have a look. They're usually the ones down at the bottom, to be honest. So, Harvest Blessing increases food production. Where are we? But I'm not going to have one now. Prosperity. It's population growth. Teleportation. Skeletons. Haste. Mainland. Barren. No, I don't actually have what I wanted here. Although, you know, we are in a negative for food now, so if we actually find somewhere that's... I mean, that's got a fair bit of food output. So if we go here and go Harvest Blessing... Can't even cast it all on this turn, but we'll do it on the next turn. Let's try and see if we can take this place now. Should be able to. That looks like a crit to me. We move in. We now have another city. These guys can still fire as well. And that's good for us because it stops him from being able to get it. And he has yet another city. Let's move out of the range of that. We can construct a building here as well, which is brilliant. There's a gold mine that isn't being used, so let's have that. So that gives us an extra 20% production on the food from this city, and it gives us an extra 12 gold per turn. So definitely worth having. Let's move you in, pen your boats in a little bit, and then you can just sit there, basically. You are going to continue firing on these guys. I know they're not doing an awful lot at the moment. We're not doing a lot of damage to them, but they're not moving either, which is a good thing. You guys really are just scouting the map now. There's not an awful lot you can do. We're going to end up moving through neutral territory in a moment, where they'll probably get taken out. But I'm going to scan as much of the area as I possibly can. Just keep firing at these nature... Well, I don't know why they're called nature beasties. They're skeletons, for heaven's sake. Right, okay, so... We want to move down here. Can't do it until the next turn. You guys, what are we going to do with you guys? We are going to get you guys moved up here. Because obviously you can move through their land, so we're safe enough doing that for the time being. And we'll end the turn. And I think what we'll do is we'll play through one more turn and then probably call that a wrap. So he's still moving these units around down here. I'm not too sure what he's doing with them. It seems a little bit dodgy, whatever it is. Luckily, the neutral city is deciding to fire at his units, not mine. So if he wants to play cannon fodder, he's more than welcome to. This is not going to end well for my mages here. In fact, it ended a lot better for my mages than I thought it was going to end. All of a sudden, a lot of stuff has popped up here. This quest is to kill the wind serpents for 70 gold. These are the wind serpents, and I'm guessing that we can just do that. Easiest 70 gold I've ever made in this game. We do have these werewolves, which could be slightly problematic, but we're just going to plink at them from a distance. Did a fair bit of damage to them. We'll deal with them with the boat on the next turn if we need to. Those guys are just going to sit there. Spell is ready. We wanted to use that on... I think it was this place here. I'm going to click it there anyway. So that will give us a bit of extra food production. We can build another building down here now as well. So we've got a lot of mana production here. So something that will give us more mana would be useful. We could build a crypt. Sadly, that crypt will cost us more gold, though, which is the problem. Although we are building other buildings that will increase the gold production, so maybe it's well worth having that. Because it will allow us to build another item as well. So, even though we do run out of gold from time to time, I think overall we're still actually managing to deal with things. Like I said, got to be careful because I don't want him to end up taking this city. Which it looks like it's something he's trying to do, which is a bit sneaky. That definitely may well be the prelude to war if he does such a thing. I think these mages are just going to sit this one out and heal. You are definitely now just going to sit there. You shouldn't wake up because he's not hostile. You guys are going to stay there. I don't want to move you off the portal at the moment. What are we going to do with you guys? There isn't particularly safe spot really, so I think what we'll do is we'll move up and actually start trying to attack this neutral city. He may well end up getting it, but there again I might be able to take it myself, so we'll see what happens. I lied, I'm going to have one more turn and then that'll be the end of the video. So, stuff happening. All my units movement is resolving. Can't really afford to build any more units though, because we are struggling for gold. That's our biggest problem right now. So you guys are going to continue to move through. We know roughly what's going on up here because this is the city we're just starting to attack. There's our settlers, who we will now build a city, and that gives us another 200 gold instantly. And we're actually producing gold now slightly. We are slightly up on gold, and also close enough to attack those. These are flying units, of course, so they can get across the water, so you do have to be careful with those. And random units moving around. Now, he does have a lot of units, but most of the units he has do seem to be very basic units. Looks like he's going to end up with another city here as well. He's certainly done enough damage to it to take it. It depends if he can actually get one of these units into it in a single turn. Not sure if he's actually got the room. Yeah, he can probably get that unit in, actually. If it still has any movement left. No, because it's back onto the neutrals. Just have a quick look as well when this turn resolves. Oh, well, that was unfortunate. Werewolves moving in. Shouldn't be able to do an awful lot of damage to our skeletal archers. Oh, I don't know. I think they traded. Archers have retreated. So, we've definitely got some issues we need to deal with here. Okay, so first things first. Werewolves, problematic. Let's deal with those. Are they dead? Yes, werewolves are dead. So, let's move... I should have just healed up while I was in the city, but we'll move those guys back out. We'll put these guys on to defend. We've got a new quest, which is to build another temple to Crypta. We'll say okay, but we'll see what happens. We can already actually do that right now. Wow, they've got a lot of crap down there. So we'll keep plinking away at those. Right, what else can we do? We are making a decent amount of gold now. It's tempting to actually click on the right icon and hire this guy. I think we actually will, and we'll give him the broom so he can fly. He can't actually use the bow, but yeah, we will do that. Lots of units need orders assigning, so he can just fire at this now. We didn't need him to kill the werewolves off. Chipping away at them very, very slowly. We'll keep firing at these guys. Now, one thing that I did want to check on, which I just thought of, he's attacking this neutral city up here and it's nearly dead. My flying units, possibly close enough to move in here. The only problem is I can't get to it because he's got too much crap in the way. Can I take it? Do I have enough? Damn. I was hoping that I'd have... I wouldn't have got it anyway, because if I'd have waited until the following turn, he'd have took it. Mind you, there again, I was stupid because I could have actually used a spell on it first, took its health down lower, and then took those guys in and nabbed it. So that was a bit stupid on my part. I could have had that for myself. It's such a stupid mistake. Oh well. One of those things. It's one of those things that you, as soon as you've done it, you realise what an idiotic move it was, but not an awful lot I can do about that now. So I'm going to move these mages up. Could be a little bit stupid because I'm leaving this place unattended, but I think I should be able to respond to any attacks on it in good time. I've also got this guy now, of course, who's just a flying badass. I'm going to move him up to here because he might be instrumental in dealing with his capital when we get that far. And how much damage have we done to this place? Can we take it? We may well be able to. That was a critical hit. He must be able to do enough damage to take it. He does indeed. So we now have another city to call our own. We can instantly use this to start firing at his boats. We can construct a building somewhere. Yes? No? Yes, we can construct a building here. So what have we got? Food, food, and food. And we also have a harbour. Pumpkin farm will give us extra food and mana. Mana pump will give us extra mana but reduce food. We really need money at the moment. I don't think there's an awful lot here we can do that will give us a lot of gold though, which is the main problem. A cheese cave. That's slightly worrying. Trading post can be built on donkeys. 10 gold. Yes, please. That'll help solve out some of the gold issues. You guys will have... Let's give you some endurance. And that's the end of that turn. I don't think there's an awful lot more we can do there. There's a couple of neutral cities left around here at the bottom that I could capture. And then I think that just leaves these couple of cities at the top. But I know I haven't really made an attempt to go straight for this guy's city yet, which is probably a mistake because I could run into all sorts of problems with resources, but the main thing I wanted to do was get these 2 boats built so that I could actually use them to blockade his city. These boats do an awful lot of damage against cities and, you know, if I can put some extra pressure on him, that's going to be good. So we've still got 30 turns to build that temple to Crypta. I don't think I'm going to bother doing it because I already have one, so I can already produce ancient liches, and they cost a lot of gold, 10 gold per turn to upkeep temples, and I just really can't afford to do that. But so far I think we're doing quite well. So I hope you guys are still enjoying the series and join me next time for what might be the final push against the elves. I don't know, we'll see, we will do our best. But until next time, goodbye for now.